Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Midday Market. Midday Market. What is this one? Midday Market Update. Man. And then I have the afternoon market action on Wednesdays. Hi, everybody. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. If you can hear me, by all means, please respond in the chat to let me know, preferably with VV Nation, to let me know that we are coming across loud and clear. To our shopper says, I just crawled out from under a rock and saw the market. What should I do with my portfolio or investments this month? Kidding about the rock, but severe family health issues took priority. Well, the biggest thing right now is knowing that the market is overall in a downtrend. We've got some news this week that can move the market as well. Can I take it, Joey?
Yes.
All right. And I did put out a short this morning about preparing for the week ahead. We're going to talk a little bit more about it today as well. So that's going to be something to keep your eyes on, shopper. That's going to be something to keep your eyes on. But I can see everybody is chatting in that you hear. So, and that's a good thing. We got a lot to cover today. And from the perspective of what's going on in the market this week, we're going to start off with a story from investing.com talking about the market upcoming this week. And it starts off really tomorrow. Two Fed members speak. Harker and Mester speak tomorrow. They're probably going to be a prelude to the minutes that will be taking place on Wednesday. We got the OPEC monthly report coming up on Wednesday as well. Let me zoom this in a little bit, I think. Can I do that? Yeah. Nope. It's Control Glenn. There we go. I just want this to be a little bigger. So there's the two Fed members speaking. OPEC monthly report. We all know that OPEC Plus decided to cut back on production, 2 million barrels. Silver, gold, WTI, please, Natasha. I'm going to talk about all of that. Right now, I am a fan of commodities with everything going on. So I will talk a little bit about a watch list that I've got with four main commodities: oil, gold, uranium, and lithium. So we'll talk a little bit about that today, Natasha. I'm almost on board with gold, just not totally. Silver, I did take a position in a silver position, but it did close me out. I forget what it was. Which silver positions? I forget. I'm not fully on board with gold just quite yet, Natasha, because the dollar's still strong. I've shown a video in the direct correlation between the move of the dollar and the move of gold. Dollar's still strong. As the dollar is still strong, gold and silver are going to feel the effects of that and probably will not go up. Oil, on the other hand, I still think there's a lot more upside to the move as oil is going to become a little bit more expensive. For clean energy, I'm a uranium fan, and because of the push towards electric vehicles, I am still a lithium fan. SGML stopped out, lost this morning. That one is a lithium play, right? Now, Fortuna Silver, that was it. That was FSM or something like that. It was Fortuna Silver, but it did, Fireblazer, it did close me out. It did close me out. All right. So I was trying to be ahead of the game on it. I saw a move on it, but this is why I'm still not a big fan yet of gold. And a lot of it has to do with the dollar. Inflation news comes out on Wednesday. The producer pricing index comes out on Wednesday. And then the consumer pricing index comes out on Thursday. We all know that inflation's a killer right now, and it's going to keep driving prices higher. It's going to keep shrinking the economy as the Fed continues to hawkishly push on interest rates. So some things that are going to happen this week that will retail sales, import price, again, with the dollar, a lot of these things are going to be affected adversely. So I'm putting this all out here. Tops was hot this morning for another awesome fast scalp, says Robert. Again, I wasn't part of the jockey club this morning. I was getting ready for today that I didn't have an opportunity to really take a look at it. But you're welcome, Natasha, in regards to the whole idea of precious metals. DRV made a few dollars, but careful, crew. I'm with that. DRV, I've played that. I've made some money on that. I'm not playing it right now. I still think that the overall view of the market is still bearish overall. And my next story tells me why. The Federal Reserve, and this came out as of today, the Federal Reserve is okay plunging economy into recession. Now, that's an economist. This is an opinion piece. All right, I know that. But when news like this comes out, that makes people think. We already know that the Fed said that the economy was going to be caused some pains by his monetary action. But now, when you get another story that says the Reserve is okay plunging the economy into a recession, of which I think we're already in, that doesn't bode very well on the market. JDT, I'm good, my friend. I'm good. Had a great weekend this weekend. Hopefully you all did as well. Hopefully you all did as well. All right. Would a warm winter in the northern hemisphere affect LNG? I agree with that. I'm looking at a cold winter is going to bring up the price of oil and it's going to bring up the price of gas. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But a warm winter, I don't think we're forecasting a warm winter this year so far. Paul says, as long as it's transitory. Yeah, we've been down that road. We've kicked the can down that road and realized that word was not what they thought they meant that they thought it was. All weekend, I was just thinking about, is it Monday yet? Wow. JD, you need to be doing something else with your life, bro. You don't want to be too much life being pushed away if you're not doing something on the weekends. Glenn, could have used your DJ skills this weekend. My nephew's wedding was terrible. Oh, man. I DJ'd a party this weekend, a 50th birthday party. It was off the hook. It was off the hook. So, man, my little business is picking up a little bit. All right. Next story. And Patrick talked a lot about this in Midday Market Action on Wednesday. He's probably going to talk a little bit more about it this Wednesday as well. But the Bank of England strengthens emergency stimulus to help ease market turmoil. So we're looking at Credit Suisse. We're looking at the Bank of England. A lot of stuff is going on with the money over there, and it ain't good. And Patrick has an idea that this could spread globally with what's going on in the market. So this is a story that's out here as well. I study the charts on the weekends when the market doesn't move. I'm dedicated. I hear you, but you know something? If you're gonna invest hard, you got to play hard too. Life's too short. Life's too short, man. Ooh-wee, you got to have some fun. Another big story come out. You know how I am in regards to EVs. How about this though? Rivian shares slump after the company announced a big recall. Rivian late Friday said it's recalling over 12,000 vehicles for potential steering defect. That's not going to be good for Rivian. Now, the big thing is, can they overcome this? They're still relatively a new company. Do they have the wherewithal to survive this recall? That's going to be big, and it could be a make or break for Rivian. Think about that. Amazon's got a lot of money behind them, right? So did Ford. But this could be a real make or break for Rivian in the space of EVs. All right. How about retail? Online holiday spending expected to be weak after months of early discounting. That's going to be big. All right. Because retail, whether it's in store or online, moves a lot and helps to bolster a lot of these companies, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Walmart, whether Target, whoever it is. All right. But from an online perspective, and even in the brick and mortar stores, there's a lot of online activity. Amazon doesn't have the brick and mortar stores, which is, a template to behold from that perspective. All right. They've got places where they ship from. They don't have brick and mortar stores. And, a company like Amazon, from an online perspective, being affected adversely. Well, why? Because inflation is high. It costs more money to buy stuff. Now, I can see that going into the holiday season, a lot of people, Amazon retail stocks may take a hit if they don't produce what they want. Quality control problem at Rivian. Absolutely. Glenn, I just checked the Old Farmer's Almanac. Northeast and Atlantic can expect colder than usual winter. Stock up on oil, says Roger. I am still playing, just, you know me. I like to be transparent in the stocks that I have, especially because I talk about stocks on this platform. I still have a position in WTI. I still have a position in WTI. Nicola is a walk away. Got burned, not bad, but out early. Way to go, Glenn. You spell your name the right way, Glenn with 2 N's. Turned on the heat this morning for the first time. Not looking forward to another northeast winter. We haven't put the heat on in our house yet. Joey, have you put the heat on in your house yet? Haven't put on the heat on the huh?
No.
No, I haven't.
Not even close. I think the air's still on.
I think the air's still on in our house too. I think we're keeping the house at about somewhere between 68 and 70. But my wife's got the windows open. I hate that. We're gonna have the windows open. Just put the air on. That's me. That's just me. If you're gonna have the windows, just put the air on. All right. And my last story is about oil. Now, this is an interesting story. Oil trends lower on rising global worries, which is interesting. It doesn't make sense, right? The benchmark crude WTI is down about 0.4% to 92. So oil is at 92 about $2 a barrel or so. While last week's gain came after the 2 million barrels a day supply cut from OPEC Plus, the market is beginning the week in the face of an escalating Ukraine-Russia conflict, bond market turmoil in UK, and focus on U.S. energy names on maximizing cash flows rather than pumping out more oil. So with all of that going on, it makes sense on paper that oil should be rising, but it ain't. U.S. natural gas, on the other hand, is up 1.58%. And, as much as I like to try to play gas, it's tough. It's extremely volatile. Ninja says the dollar index now up 113. It was 111 last week. Roger said I caught COVID last week, so I've been using the electric blanket. The house kept at 78, but still feels cold. Man, I'm praying for you, man. COVID is no joke. No joke. But just be careful. Take care of yourself. How can you use the heat in North Carolina in October? Because it gets chilly here. Don't get it twisted. It may be the South, but it does get, today's high today is going to be about 71 degrees. I'm looking at my Apple Watch. It's going to be here about 71 degrees, but it started off chilly this morning. And Joey will still wear shorts. No matter how, it could be 32 degrees outside and Joey will still wear shorts. I don't know how he does that. I swear I don't know how he does that. All right. So before we move on, let me ask you to do one thing for me. I'm looking at how many people in the room. Everybody, if you always like these presentations and you feel that they're useful as we get into looking at a lot of different stocks, I want everybody out there to right now take a second, share this link out on your social circles. Let's get more people in here, all right? Share this link right now on your social circles. All you got to do is copy the link from the top of the page, put it out on your social circles. Let's get some people in here, all right? Wait, you're in North Carolina? Yeah, I'm in North Carolina. We're in North Carolina. Joey is hot-blooded. Joey is hot-blooded. I don't know. Rig count is coming out, I think, on Thursday, Ramor. Rig count is important. Turnaround times on fracking drilling to production can be as little as 1 month. So that's another story coming out in regards to oil, is the inventories come out this week too. So there's a lot of things coming out this week that could affect the market adversely. So I need you all to stay focused on that. Now, from that perspective, we're going to get to the stocks that hit the news in a second. Let's look at what's going on with the major indices. The Qs are down, the SPY is down, the IWM, the Dow. But look at the big thing, the VIX is up. There's a lot of fear in the market, folks. And because that, people are fearful in the market, people are fearful investing in the market, is going to be a way to drive the stock market down. I'm not going to show a lot of market timing. I think we're going to pull back away from that for a little bit, because the people who pay for the VectorVest service are the ones that should have the benefit of our world-class market timing. All right. So we're going to start pulling back a little bit on showing our market timing graph and all those kinds of things. If you want to get on board with that, I got an easy solution for you. You can take advantage of a trial to the VectorVest system for 99 cents. 99 cents for 30 days. 99 cents for 30 days. You want all the market timing and our guidance. That's how you're going to get it from now on. I'm not going to show it a lot here because I think that it's benefiting, the benefit is for the people who have the skin in the game, who want to get that information. All right. What is the best way to play the VIX? So Sultan, when the VIX is high, that means there's fear in the market. When the VIX is high, the market normally pulls back. The market is normally in a bearish scenario. So the best way preferably the best way to play the VIX is when it's high, you should be playing the market to the downside. And when it's low and people are comfortable playing in the market, then that's a good time when the market is normally going higher. But also notice that the price of the VIX is above 30. Anything above 20, Sultan, anything above 20 shows that there's a lot more volatility in the market. All right, so there you go. Glenn's earnings are expected to be bad next quarter. Will this bring the market lower? Absolutely. So, what has your Uncle Glenn been talking about? What have I been saying about earnings? What quarters should you been looking at earnings, or should you be looking at earnings? Type it in the room. I've been talking about this and preaching about it. What 2 quarters did I say you need to concentrate in regards to earnings after interest rates started going up? Type it in the room. All right. And it's nothing that should have come out of the ordinary. It's something that I've been talking about since interest rates started rising. There's no 7th quarter mark. Sigh. I've been telling you to look at the 3rd and the 4th quarter. We're now in the 4th quarter. We're now in the 1st or 4th quarter. It started the effect in the 3rd quarter, and now I think it's going to be doing a little bit more in the 4th quarter. We're going to see about that. All right, talking about earnings, I'm going to talk about what stocks are coming out as earnings this week. All right, so that's where the markets stand today. The VIX is up, fearful in the market, and I think the market's going to stay that way as the week progresses because we've got 2 stories coming out, 2 reports coming out on inflation. We've got the Fed minutes coming out. We got oil inventories coming out. So the market is trying to get a feel of where all of this fits in, and I still think that it's going to have an opportunity to bring the markets down higher. Banks on Friday, absolutely, Marie. When we get into the earnings, banks are going to start reporting this week, and a lot of them are going to be reporting on Friday, and that's going to give a glint into how they are faring on how the rest of the market will fare as well. But I think we're going to go through this pullback a little bit. All right. I don't think we got a lot of upside this week until all of the reports come out. The market will digest it, and then we'll see from here. All right, big news. So in regards to the news that I just talked about, here's oil down today, about 4%. Here's retail down today. Here's online retail down today. And I'm using ETFs for both retail and online. And Rivian, that's going to be a big hit for them. And the biggest thing about Rivian is, are they going to be able to survive this recall to be able to go back higher? Fireblazer says, my banks are taking a hit, fear of defaults. And again, that all goes back to what's going on with Credit Suisse. That's going back to what's going on with the Bank of England. Does the bank issue there, will it start to become global? And will we feel it? And that's going to be the question at hand, Fireblazer. It really is. That's really going to be the question at hand. So all of the stories that we talked about, and there's only 3. There was the oil, there was the retailers, and Rivian. All of the stocks are going down, but I wanted to find out what stocks were on the radar as far as news. Notice that oil, WTI, is the only buy recommendation with a RT above 1. Oil is still in a rise. It's a pullback today, but overall, I think between oil, between natural gas, between those 2 things, getting into the colder months, there's still going to be good long-term plays. Marie was talking about the banks reporting this week. Here's the earnings for this week. Not a whole lot of names that I knew, but big thing is stuff like PNC, PGR, First Republic, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan Stanley, U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, BlackRock, Citigroup are all reporting this week on Friday. Robert's right. Hit the like button. You know me. I want to get to about 100 likes before we get done for the day if we can, especially if you find this information useful to you. If I'm looking at this listing of stocks, though, which stocks have the highest probability of meeting or exceeding their earnings, I'm looking at sorting this list by relative safety. TSM, Taiwan Semi, actually my son who works for ASML is currently in Taiwan because they have a close relationship with TSM. TSM and ASML are working real close together. My son is an engineer for ASML, and they sent him over to Taiwan. I'm keeping my eyes on that situation between China and Taiwan right now. but he's learning what he needs to learn in Taiwan to bring it back to ASML. So happy for him that he's got an opportunity to travel, but I am keeping my eyes on that. BlackRock, Domino's Pizza. Is that the one what's the one that says pizza, pizza? What's the commercial with the football player that says pizza, pizza? Who is that? That ain't Domino's. Who is that? Is that Little Caesars? Is that a Little Caesars commercial? I think it is, but I love that commercial. Pizza, 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 pizza. Say it again. Pizza, pizza. It's not CC. Is CC still around? Is CC still around? Holy smokes. Welcome to CC's. We had one in Mooresville. Hey, Boston, is it still there? I don't even know if it's still there. Glenn, do you think that stocks depend on international business will rise if the dollar weakens? International business, as far as exports, it's going to make us, the strong dollar is going to make it tougher for people to buy our products. All right, so I'm going to keep that in mind in regards to the dollar. As we keep raising interest rates and we keep trying to shrink the economy and make it harder for people to buy things, the dollar gets strong. The dollar's not going to weaken until the Fed pulls back off of that. Bob is on Facebook. Glenn, what searches are you putting on the screen? I'm not putting any searches on the screen. These are all watch lists right now, Bob. These are all watch lists right now that I prepare for you for these sessions so that you know what's going on. But our earnings this week, I go through all of the earnings and I put the names that I know. The names that I don't know, I ain't putting them up, but these are all companies that you should know about. Glenn, rumor is oil. I don't call it as a rumor. I think it's a reality that it's going to move. All right, speaking of football, how about them Patriots shutting out line? Who cares about the Patriots? Nobody cares about the Patriots. I'm a Giants fan. How about those Giants? 4-1, baby. I'm sorry. Yeah, 4-1. How about that? How about those Panthers, Joey? Woo! Go, Joey. Joey's a Panthers fan. How about those Panthers, Joey? He doesn't want to talk to me right now. No, he just took me off the screen. He's mad right now. He just took me off the screen. Don't be mad. Are you mad, bro? You mad, bro? You mad? All right. He's taking my picture off and muting me. He's a hater right now. Yay for the Giants. That's right, Marie. Go for the Giants. Panthers coach just got fired. Yeah, I know. All right. So here's the stocks for earnings this week to keep your eyes on. Let's talk about the fastest industries. You're going to be kind of interested as to know what's going on. Even though I'm saying that the market's going to have more downside, I want you to see something. I am going to go to the search that I created for industries. All right, so in this search, I'm looking at the change in relative timing 10 days ago on these industries and what they've done for the last 10 days. So I'm going to get a number of what the change in Delta was 10 days ago, and then I'm going to get another number of the change over the last 10 days. So when I run this search, with the market still having more of a bearish feel, notice that the first time I've ever run this, I've only got 4 industries that had a positive Delta 10 days ago and are still moving up. So one of the things that I'm really big on right now, I talked to you about 4 different stocks, is commodities. How about commodities? ETF's commodity futures was up 7% 10 days ago. Look at the run in that space over the last 10 days, up 27%. Now, the majority of that is oil. All right, so the majority of that is oil. We already know that. But I will look at the other commodities that I still have my eyes on. For clean energy, I'm going to look at uranium. For EVs, which there's a lot of demand on, I'm going to look at lithium. Because of oil, I got oil, and I am going to keep my eye out on gold. So 4 commodities that I think you all need to keep your eyes on, with the most attention being paid to oil. But this is the first time in a week, in our weekly sessions, that when I run this search, I've only got 4 things that are moving. Now, in a predominantly still market that's moving down, look at ETF shorts falling off. Look at ETF shorts falling off. 10 days ago, it had a delta in RT of 72%. It's falling off. Well, I think a lot of it is because we had a couple of big up days that were then followed by a couple of down days to end the week. We'll see what happens with that. But everybody who's trading on your ETF shorts, just be careful. Even in the Jockey Club last week, I did close out of my contras on Friday. I didn't hold them going into the week. And I think that was still the right thing to do. That was still the right thing to do. Watching and monitoring TLT, looking for a bottom, waiting for the Fed to pause. I don't think the Fed's going to pause anytime soon right now. I really don't think the Fed. All right, let's go put this to a vote. How many of you think that the Fed is going to either pause on interest rates, type of 1? If you think he's going still full head of steam, type of 2. If you think that the Fed's looking at what's going on in the market right now and he's going to slow down or pause, type of 1. If you think that he's going to be full B to the W, all right, type a 2 in the room. And I don't think it's going to pause. And that TLT, you're going to have to wait on. You're going to have to wait on that a minute, and you're going to have to wait on the dollar getting weaker. All right, right now, the dollar's going to continue to get stronger. And John says, crash the economy. I think that the Fed is got in his mind. He already knows. He already knows that the economy is going to be feeling some pain. And again, no matter what anybody's got to say about Powell, I still take my hat off to him that he said, listen, folks, I'm sorry to have to tell you, but what I'm going to do is cause the economy pain. He's got to shrink the economy. I'm looking for a pause in several months from now. Sorry for jumping the gun. No, don't listen. I want to talk to you. So there's another thing right there. Midterms. Now, let me ask you another question. You know, I don't like to get political, but do you think the Fed pauses to give a rally into the midterms? Type a yes or no. That's a good question. Now, I don't think that he, technically on paper, he should not be affected by, his policy should not be affected by politics. But do you think he pulls back a little bit to give a run into elections? Type a yes. If you don't think so, type a no. I'm just curious. I'm really, 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 really curious. Personally, I think he's got his head down to the grindstone, and he's just going to do what he's got to do. I see that. Yes, no, back. Joey, put up a poll. Joey, put up a poll. Do you think that the Fed will pause prior to the midterms? Yes or no? Put up a poll, Joey. Put up a poll. Do you think the Fed will pause monetary policy prior to midterms? Once Joey puts that poll up, I want to see it on paper, what you guys say. I want to see it on paper. Everything is political, says Fireblazer. Does anybody in here think that I'm political? Type of 1 or 2. Does anybody in this room, when I present on this YouTube channel, does anybody think that I'm political? Type of 1 if you think I'm political, type of 2 if you don't think I'm political. Type of 1 if you think I'm political, type of 2. I try very hard to keep politics out of this room. Now, a lot of times there's a lot of things politically that affect our market, that affect our economy. But I try very hard to keep that part out of the conversation. All right. If you want all that political stuff, then go to a political YouTube channel. Rate hike will be less than 7. Ooh, David, that's a bold prediction. I don't think that. All right, I don't think that. So now let me ask another question. What are the chances? What have I been saying all this time? I think that before this is all said and done, that he will raise interest rates by 1 basis point. Let me ask this question. Do you think that will happen? Type a yes or type a no. Do you think that before this is done and over that he will raise this by 1 basis point? Type a yes if you think so. Type a 2 if it's no. Because that's a big statement. Rate hike will be less than 75 basis points. I don't know. All right. I don't know. But you know something? You know, David, I'm going to take that and say that if he does do that, that may be enough to rally into midterms. That may be enough to rally into midterms. We'll see. I don't think so. I don't think so. All right. So I'm loving the chat this today. You guys are chatting in bigly, and I appreciate that. All right, but I'm trying to get you more involved in what's actually going on in the market, because these are the things that are going to affect your ability to make money in the stock market. All right, let's go back to the viewers real quick. So the fastest industries seem to be the commodities. Industry ETFs, where's all the money going right now? Let's go peep this all out. I've got ETFs from all across the spectrum of investing, from oil and energy and gold and copper and materials and healthcare and financials. Let's go see where the money's going today. Where's the money going? I'm going to start natural gas, copper. Now, that's probably another one that I want to put in my commodities list, is copper, and I probably will. But copper's up. But notice all of the ETFs that are up, well, the indices that are up are not up by a lot. And I think that this is going to be the MO, the modus operandi, going into the stuff, the reports that are coming. Holy smokes, I wish this would stop. Would go into the news that is coming out this week. Folks, I'm telling you, you got to pay attention to what the minutes are going to say, what the PPI is going to say, what the consumer, what this, all of this is inflation and other things. But this is going to, is the Fed doing enough to stave off inflation? That's what it's going to come down to. FCX is up today, copper play. Paul, I'm going to put that into my list of my commodities in a moment. All right. Where's my speculative people? Raise your hands. Type in raise hand. That's the way I can do it. Where's my speculative people? Raise your hand. All right. Marie says the hike is coming 50 to 75 or more. I still think that at some point in time, he is going to do a 1 basis point. All right, so we got the people who have here's my speculative plays. CCXI, notice that on my speculative plays, the fundamentals be damned on them. All right, so there's no good fundamentals, but they all are in uptrends. They all are in uptrends. Let's go take a look at any of these that may look like you want to take a look at. View the stock graph. Put these on a 1 month. Hold on. Let's go take off use extended hours. There we go. Boom. Let's go look at the graph of these again. I put these on a 1 month graph. I'm looking at CCXI from a speculative play. Remember, fundamentals are not there, but the stock is in an uptrend. Bottom left, top right, going into this current month. I'd like to see it break above that level of the high, sitting at a value of 51.90, but the 3 and the 8 are solid on them right now. Whoo, this is a petroleum stock. It was looking good. All right, but pulled back for 2 days in a row. Right now, the 3 and the 8 end of day are still good to go, but I still feel good about petroleum. But if you're trading a stock like this right now, 2 days in a row, I wouldn't mind you taking some of that off the table. Don't give it all back. Instrument Scientific. Interesting about this stock, a lot of big wicks at the top of these candles, a lot of selling pressure. But even on the pullbacks, the 3 and the 8 are holding. I'd like to see it take out this 1 month high, sitting at $3.86. Back here was pretty flat, but when it started moving. The 3.8 gave me a signal to get in, and the 3.8 is still giving me a signal to keep into it. Healthcare output was rising, a little bit of a shooting star pattern followed through. The 3 and the 8s are still good. I've got a level of support on this stock sitting at $10.41. It's probably going to test that level of support. But remember, RTs are still above the value of 1, even if these are not fundamentally sound. GBT, I'm looking at, did they get bought? Can anybody back me up on that? For 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row non-trading after it gapped up, this might have gotten bought. I don't know. I have to take a look at this. Boston Glenn needs a Swami cap. No, I don't need a Swami cap. Historically, our stock market performs best when we get midterm Congress elections that result in split control. That's a fact. So listen, I'm just pointing out the obvious. Are we going to go into a little run prior to the midterms or not? That was the whole idea. ADNP, let me see if I have the time to look at that for you, Rhino, okay? Let's go get to the next stock. I'm not feeling that, even though it's a speculative play, a little bit of a sideways move. PBFX is moving higher, pulling back. 3 and 8 are still okay. A little bit of indecision today. I'd like to see it take out the 1-month high. Ooh, Amlx, another drug biomedical company. Nice open day today. This was not earnings. This is probably news driven, but look at the 3 and the 8 coming off this little level of support right here. I'm feeling that as a speculative play. Keep your eye on it. That's AMLX. I'm not feeling this one, even though it's a speculative play. I wouldn't play this one, and nor would I play VTYX right now, just pulling down. All right, so those are my speculative plays. Some of them look pretty good, some of them not so good. All I want you to do is just keep your eyes on them going forward. All right, today's big movers. Let's talk about the stocks that are up at least 10% today on a day like today. Look at this. I've got 5 stocks. How about Tops was up at least 10%? Somebody put that into the room. Look at the pullback on it. Look at the pullback on it. Let's go peep these out. So these are big movers for the day. Let's go see if there's any room for you to make some money. I'm going to leave it on intraday 5-minute bars. All right. Look at the gap up of Imlx. How many of you heard that Imus in the morning passed away last week? All right. The stock really never did fade the gap, but even when it did a little bit, the 3 and the 8 stayed solid. Finally was right here at about 12.10 that the 3 did cross below the 8. Could be setting back up, bouncing off a current level of support. Could it break back through and move up? Only if it goes higher than the high. All right. Big mover today. Sober made all of its money at the beginning of the market and then fell and faded the gap. I wouldn't touch that. I do like that the 3 and the 8 are about to change or move back up. All I got to say is be careful with that, right? Love that it bounced off a level of support at 279. The 3-8 just crossed. I'd like to see it move higher if I wanted to try to make some money on that one. Next one is Tops. Made its money this morning, and look at it now. All right, so it's always to be careful. A lot of people say, hey, Glenn, go look at this stock. It's up, blah, 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 blah. But then comes back to me, and I'm going to be like Miss Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? And right now, Tops is not doing anything for me right now. I'm not doing anything for me right now, even as a big mover of the day. STSA made its money this morning, faded the gap. I'm not feeling this stock right now. You wanted me to look at APND. Look at that. It's in my list. How about that, Rhino? It's in my list of big movers today. Right now, it's leveling out. The money was made this morning. The 3-8 cross, that would have been a great time to take your profits off the table. But right now, if you're still trading in it, it's got a level of support sitting at $2. If it breaks below that, Rhino, I would definitely be out of the stock. But probably it's going to test this as a level of support. Let's go see if it can bounce off and move back up and take out the daily high. But there you go. From a day trade perspective, it made its money this morning. Since then, you're still positive if you're still in it, but it's giving you some ideas of trying to get out of it or, capture that profit. Watch the volume too. All right, so interesting that as you put that up as a stock, it was a stock that's way up today. What has it done for me lately? All right, my name is Miss Jackson if you're nasty. No, it's not. My name ain't Miss Jackson. All right, let's go look at my speculative plays from last week. Let's see how they panned out. Let's go take this back to 10.3. Here was my stocks that I gave to you as speculative plays. Let's quick test them. How'd they pan out? They didn't make a lot of money. All right, couple of stocks did, but it was a split. 3 made money, 3 didn't. We finished down on that, about 1.74. We outpaced the market to the downside. All right, we outpaced the market to the downside. All right, there's my speculative plays. We looked at today's movers. I always, you know me, I always like to put out some biomedical stocks that are out there. These are 10 stocks that have phase 3 catalyst news coming out within the next 6 months. All right, within the next 6 months. I want you to keep your eyes, write them down, take a picture, whatever you need to. There's a lot of opportunities out there on these kinds of stocks that make a lot of money real fast. At least I want you to put this into your hit list, your watch lists, whatever it is. I need you to just keep your eyes on these stocks, all right? I'm not going to go through the graphs of these. Did I have biotech stocks from last week? Weekly biotech stocks. Weekly biotech stocks from last week. Let's see what they did. I gave you a listing of those then too. Still in the whole category of phase 3 catalysts soon coming out on these stocks. Let's see how they worked out. Let's do a quick test of them. Look at that. Here's my biotechs from last week. EYEN, 34% over the week, folks. AKRO, 15%. Amlx, 11%. Out of the 8 stocks, we had 5 winning trades and 3 losing trades. CPRX is a stock that I do like. It went down over the week, but 5 out of the 8 stocks did go up. Again, all I want you to do, folks, were we supposed to buy them after making a big move? So no, the idea here, if these are stocks that have phase 3 news coming out of them, I want you to keep your eyes on them. And then if you've got them into a watch list or a hit list of stocks, time them. Fireblazer, time them. That's all I want. That's all I want you to do. That's all I want you to do. All right. These are ideas, especially on these biotechs. These are ideas that I just want you to put into a watch list. All right. My day trading picks, I got none. I got no day trading picks for you today. But 2 lists that I told you that I would look into. Most bought stocks. I went through the Unisearch tool to just put together a listing of some of the most traded stocks over the last 5 days, the most bought stocks over the last 5 days. A lot of them were energy stocks. All right, a lot of them are fundamentally sound, but a lot of them, this was the big move of what happened for last week. They were a lot of energy stocks. All right, some of the biggest traded stocks over the last week. And I got another list of the heaviest traded stocks by hedge funds. I got a website that I'm looking at that I'm still working on, but hedge funds, the biggest purchases that they have right now, Chevron, Alphabet, Microsoft, Berkshire, Meta, Canadian Natural Resources, PayPal, Warner Brothers, Amazon, General Electric. This is some of the biggest holdings by some of the biggest money managers out there. All right. And the last thing, again, take a picture of these, put them into your hit list. All right. And now you got to think, do they know something that you don't know? That's why I want to look at them. These are what the hedge funds are holding. And last but not least, and I am going to put copper in here. Here is my featured watch list this week, and it's going to be COPX is going to be on commodities. I am big on commodities right now. Fireblazer says, you also keep saying you want to see them take out the last high before you would buy. When I buy them, it seems to be coming down. So that's why I want you to make sure that the stocks are doing what you want them to do before you buy them, which means they're going up in price. That is the reason why I say that. So if you want to do that, Fireblazer, do. But if not, take it. Take it when you want to take it, especially if you feel comfortable taking it. But my thing is I want a little bit more confirmation before I buy into it. Does that make sense, Fireblazer? That's all I want. I just want to make sure that I'm buying into them as they're doing what they want me to do. All right, what about UVXY? I wouldn't mind playing that right now. All right, especially if the market's going down, UVXY is a good play. All right, especially knowing that the VIX is moving higher. You saw when I went to the indices, UVXY is, as the VIX was rising, what was UVXY doing? Rising as well. I'm all about that. So I'm all about getting into UVXY. So let me finish off with my featured watch list again, which is going to be the commodities. And what am I looking at? I'm looking at oil, I'm looking at copper, I'm looking at gold, I'm looking at uranium, and I'm looking at lithium. Here's a good play, I think, overall, especially going through what we're going through in the market. Put these on a 3-month graph. Oil is on the rise. All right, this is simple looking at the 3 and the 8 exponential moving average. It is coming up to a level of resistance of 78.66 on USO. As I look at the copper, man, I'm not feeling copper as much as I'm feeling oil. It's pulled back. The 3 and the 8 have crossed bearish. I'm looking at gold. Who asked me about gold? Again, this is why I'm not fully bullish on gold just quite yet. The dollar's just too strong for oil, for gold right now. Just too strong for gold right now. Now, uranium, I like the play. Man, but it's pulling down to a level of support sitting at 1914. I need you to just keep your eyes on it, though, as people are still looking for alternatives to coal and oil. Nuclear energy is going to take front and center. And then last but not least, lithium, tough play to be in as well, but keep your eyes on it. All right, Joey, put me on my last screen. That's it. That's all I got. Interesting. I've got a watch list of casinos, and they're doing terribly. But the RT for all of them is turning sharply upward. Gotta watch those. So, Roger, you're timing the play. You're definitely timing the play. All right, how many likes do we get? 79. Holy smokes. Well, you know me. I always like to push for 100. If you're still new to the channel, I invite you right now to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, so that you'll be alerted to when live streams or new videos come out, number one. If you like what you saw today, if it was worth it for you to spend a little bit of time with us today, hit the like button. All right, hit the like button. And for all of those that are out there, I appreciate you sharing. Tonine says, at my church stock club, the leader is panicking and asking to liquidate all stock. I do not agree. What do you think? Nope. That's why market timing is important. That's why stops are important. All right. You never panic. Never let them see you sweat, Tonine. Never. Never, 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 never. That's why you have a plan in place, Tonine. That is why. That is why. Everybody agree with that? Type of 1 if you agree with that. Nobody. And type of 2 if you think you should be panicking right now. All right, folks, this is a time as a smart investor in the market. Never let them see you sweat, and you have control, not them. Whoever is teaching this in your church, they don't have the control. Wow, I got a super chat. Falling, this seems to not have affected the market so far. What are your thoughts on the potential short on TRL? Put me back in. I got a super chat. I got to go check that out. Put me back in. TRL. I can't say no to that. I got a $10 super chat on TRL. Let's go take a look at it. Oh, man, I don't track it. It is TRL. PRG. No. PRG has, let's go look at that. It's PRG. PRG has a history of falling heavily when it hits record highs. Well, let's go take a look. Let's go put this on the 6-month graph. Well, let's go put this on a 1-year graph. Let's go put this, good Lord. There's a lot of stuff going on with this stock. Overall, this is retail home furnishings. Overall, it ain't when it hits all-time highs. It's just over the, it's got, fundamentally, it's not good. No relative value below 1, relative safety below 1, RT below 1, earnings per share. They grow at a negative earnings growth rate. There's nothing that I like about the stock, all right, except for right now it's sitting in a little bit of a channel. But fundamentally, the stock's got nothing going for it. RT is, it had a little bump above 1 for a little bit and came back down. I'm not feeling PRG, and I don't think it's got anything to do with record highs. They seem to not have been affected by this market so far. Yeah, they have. As the market's been going down, the stock overall has been going down. What is it doing? It's hitting lower highs, and it's back below that trend line. I don't know much about the company except for on a graph and by the analysis of the VectorVest software. It's not doing it. All right, does that make sense? No, the other one, I think that was his name, TRL. It had to be. I'm not feeling it. You say it's neutral. I'm not feeling neutral. This ain't Progressive Insurance. That's not a Progressive. That's a different stock. All right, if your name is TRL, I'm not feeling this stock. I'm not feeling, and it's got nothing to do with anything except for the analysis and that.
But he asked, what are your thoughts on a potential to short, not to buy long?
Is that what it is? I shorted, but you know something? I wouldn't short it now until it broke through this low. I wouldn't if I were already shorting it, yeah, but I wouldn't short it now until it broke through this low to show me some more confirmation of the move. All right, no PGR, PGR. PGR. Am I putting in the wrong stock? Sigh. PGR. Let's go look at PGR. I got a super chat and just lost. Oh, all right. That's progressive. All right. Now I got you. All right. How can you submit a super chat to I'm getting involved in that as a potential short? Well, I'm looking over the last year, TRL. Bottom left, top right. Fundamentally not there. Safety is there. RT is there. CI is there. I need a couple of things to happen. Let's go put this on a 6-month graph. I need a couple of things to happen. Right now, it's above a level of a current level of support sitting at 121.82. I'm also looking at a trend line from this level. That's more of the trend line. It broke through the trend line. I'm going to draw another line connecting the highs. You know something, from a potential short perspective, I needed to break below this line right here, TRL. I needed to break below this line right here. I need to break between below 116.34. Does that make sense? They fall heavily when they hit record highs back in 2006 and 2008. Well, 1 year, 5 years, even saying that, they've taken out the highs each time. Pulled back, new high, pulled back, new high, pulled back, new high. So when you say fall heavily, that's a heavy fall.
Go back to 2008 though. What is that? 17 you have up?
That's going back 5 years, Joey.
Yeah.
That's going back 5. This stock is just, TRL, this stock just keeps going up, even after the falls. So this is 12 years. This stock is just freaking going
2011?
up. I'm looking at right now, that was your fall. And I think it sets up to take out a new high. Does anybody in the room agree with that? Does anybody in the room agree with that? There was the fall, new high. I think that this was the fall before it moves up. Anybody agree? Type a 1 if you agree with that. I'm just reading the graph. I know nothing about the stock. I'm just reading the graph. I'm thinking that this was your fall for the short. And now it's back up on the move again. So TRL, that's what I'm looking at right now. I see what you're saying. Every time it hits a new high, it falls. But after all of that too, the stock just keeps hitting a new high.
So you think it's going to go hit a new high now?
I think so, based upon what I see.
Yeah.
Even in the current market's condition, because insurance is a good place to be right now. What did you say? It's bullish, JD? What else did you put? The factor rank is based on the stock having the price strength versus the market. Strong money flow, persistency, and strength versus long-term price trend. I think that the stock right now, TRL, I wouldn't short it yet. I'd see if it could take out that high first. And if it takes out that new high, that's when I would short it. Does that make sense, TRL? Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I was supposed to already been gone, but I couldn't deny the super chat. But insurance is a good place to be in. And I did a video that showed that, I don't know if I did or not. I might tweet it. That during a time of recession, insurance is a good time to be in. Does that make sense? And again, TRL, thank you for that super chat. I just wanted to give you the due diligence. Thank you for giving us that. I appreciate that. But I wasn't going to leave until I gave you the due diligence on that.
All right, the poll ended. We had, do you think the Fed will pause prior to the midterm? 67% said no, 32% said yes, 78 votes.
There we go. Thank you for the votes on that. I don't think he's going to pause during the midterm. I just don't. So listen, Hey, great chat today. Great chat today. We got over 107 likes. Thank you for that. Great chat today. But negative trend momentum and a decrease in volume trend. And the factor is based on the stock having price trend. I already looked at that. All right. I just wanted to make sure. Hey, TRL again. Thank you for that super chat. I was just curious why this hasn't moved with the market. And that's why insurance is a good place to be during a recession. It is, overall, this stock is just kicking butt and taking names. All right. Look at that, 110 likes. Thank you for that. All right, folks, I'm done for the day. Thank you for being here today. I went a little bit over than I wanted to, but it was well worth it. It was well worth it. Frank says, are they insuring Florida? You know something? From what I understand in regards to insurance, flood insurance is super expensive. Mark, you're here, right? Flood insurance is super expensive, and I don't think that all insurance companies put it out there. So if you were able to get that, I think you're covered. But if you weren't, I don't know how that works. And I'll have to have a conversation with Mark and Kirby in regards to that. Okay, I guess I'll hit the like button for a change. I know you hit the button. Is tomorrow training? Is more training? Yeah, there's a lot of training, Haas, on our VectorVest software. Joey. Sharpa says many residents without insurance too expensive. Yeah, I've heard that flood insurance is really, really, really expensive. I need to rebuild on stilts. We have that here in South Carolina. A lot of houses in Myrtle Beach are built on stilts, especially if they're close. All right, folks, I gotta go. All right. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. Still praying for the people in Florida. Bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Till the next time, folks. See ya.